on the Galactic New Year and the portal or the opening to our Lion's Gate. So today it's officially open. Although the peak of our lovely portal is on the 8th, 8-8, which is the strength card, our lovely lion and the lovely individual who has that hand in the mouth of the lion. So as we move into a settling in of the 5D mystics, which don't need to demystify since the 5D mystic actually has a relationship with the topic of energy and physics. And so neuroscience also, somatic, sensory-motor, all the human elements and all the spiritual and spirituality components, the ancients are equally participant. However, when you do, as a 5D mystic, know that you're not anointed and that having the ability to connect to the field of consciousness, so the channeled guidances, mediumship, aspects that are considered by some who don't know about neuroscience as supranatural. What a 5D mystic knows is it's not supranatural, although we understand why the supra was given, and that's because we didn't have the science and technology and the empirical data to show what and how our lovely human brain works, and how, because it's a space that creates, when you work with an integrated mind, the left and right mode are all hands on deck, and the default mode network is down regulated. So we are not scanning to see if we need to turn on our mammalian heritage, that ventral vagus nerve. And so people that are 5D, in fact, we're pure consciousness because we stay in unconditionally loving minds and hearts, and that's because we know we're all human. So our secure base is also something we note, which is anything that tickles our brain, and that would be what we love to learn or what we love to do, activities, essentially a functional adult. So again, 5D mystics, they will use mystics, but only because they channel. They won't use it because they're supranatural or anointed, and that's where the 4D community instead consistently continues to use specific words which we understand. We get to bring it all together and allow science and spiritual and spirituality stuff to come together, since it's a level plane. There's not a, oh, ancients are better, science is better, this is better. That's only for the adaptive child emotional response of an insecure ego. In fact, emotionally insecure people need to prove their points. The ones who are conscious creators, so the ones of us who are secure base and safe havens, you have secure attachment. That's why we don't cancel people. We don't have soul contracts. We are already aware, thank you Sadhguru for the quote, about how you call it a stone, you call it a demon, divinity, you call it whatever you want. It's the same energy, and it's split up into a million particles, and not because there has to be a matrix that is designed. So on this lovely Galactic New Year, and again, the opening to this lovely Lion's Gate portal, which is the strength of a vulnerable, emotionally speaking, human being, which it's only if you're a Zen master who knows to forgive, meaning that the past, we hold it. You can't know where you're at if you don't know where you have been. So when people, our loved ones, and us engage, we actually carry them with us. We don't need to forgive them. Nobody needs to forgive anyone, but if we must use it, it's acknowledging that what has happened yesterday can be processed and let go of energetically. Doesn't mean you don't talk about it. So the energy is the part about where the 4D individuals or people who are 3D, or basically anyone who remains uneducated about how the optimized version of our brain is why supernatural stuff happens. And unfortunately, some people don't move into the richness component, because see, this I learned from a video, we talked about it, but it's on Big Think or Well. They do research. I need to go grab the name. Anybody who's curious, let me know. I'm happy to go grab it. But as the person explained, and it's a he, I believe he uses the he pronoun, when you are connected, so when we're channeling and we're having something to share, in my case with the 5D community, so vulnerable at heart, fiercely loving, that also means we can be fiercely fearful, but we'll speak about our fear. And in fact, we don't actually feel guilty for emotions or emotional triggers. So sometimes we can also get angry, but it'll be a snap and done deal. So we don't ruminate, because when you have an integrated mind, you're using your prefrontal cortex, your third eye. So a 5D person doesn't have a blocked third eye, because that would mean there's no self transformation. So they're not looking at their self like you, the person. So if I get angry, I say, shoot, I'm so sorry. I was triggered because I won't make an excuse. I'll try to do better next time. And it's very straightforward. As for our channeling and our guidance, this one's very straightforward for those who are not in the, again, 4D Maya land, distorted ego, adaptive child. And if you have any questions, let me know. This is all part of the psychoeducational component, and it is pseudo-science because we're not doing empirical. We're doing I'm a human, you're a human. I learn things about personal development, share them, food for thought, as well as, of course, channel guidance again for my 5D mystics, though. So they're all curious and tuning in and building what are vulnerably raw relationships with the roar of a lion that can roar with fear or with love. And if anger happens, it all depends, but definitely there will be the ability to stand back, because the reality is there's no need, unless somebody has a weapon in front of you, to actually use that energy. So we are very optimized in the alignment of our physical, energetic, mental body, our values, and oh yes, the heart body. So all those bodies that people who do yoga will have learned about, and apparently they also will have learned about Maya, but they still believe in energy vampires and that they're only a spirituality process that has supernatural potentially capabilities, because they didn't get the neuroscience, which explains it's an optimized version of using our human brain. It's in the skull. And it is, of course, a transformational process. I know very well throughout my entire years, you guys know, for the paid subscribers, the Lightworkers journey, I still remember perceiving, in fact, the areas of my brain every year that would be not affected, but lit up. And somehow when these major ascension energies came about, and it sounds silly because I know that some of you know about this, but for me it was like every year it switched. And I've always been curious. I need to reach out to people who might be curious about my experience, and I'll happily, and I'm saying neuroscience people, not anybody else, because I would love to contribute to our lovely human species, since this is where we expand our consciousness left and right. Though if you're using one alone, you're not expanding, you're sitting still and standing, and you may think you roar like a lion, but it's a blind and deaf one. And that's the part where when they get into their adaptive child mode, trying to prove they're right with confirmation listings of things, and the whole power and control is because the mind is not yet at ease with being in a unique personality. You think and feel differently than another person. So again, on this lovely Galactic New Year, some were able to clear, not get rid of the past. No, we don't get rid of the past. That's the whole point. We're one big ball of energy. We build data. We build information. We continue to remember. So clearing a past means that you're able to sit in equanimity. It means the integrated mind and the restorative embodied self. It means a functional adult who knows how to forgive because the past has happened. But really what it is that you have compassion beyond a reason, because you're using your prefrontal cortex and you say, oh, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do, this is what I'm accepting, because dealing with the unknown, uncertainty, and unwanted from within with your own flow as that lovely inner growth mindset is the participant for the love cycle, pure consciousness, Purusha, pure energy, Prakriti. We actually don't know disconnection from this sphere. Who's we? The 5D mystic now. The people who move on into the 5D, they will tell you all about their shame or blame or fault or revenge stories, but first they need to get to compassion and knowing they're not their greatest mistake. So to vulnerably put that hand in the mouth of a lion and know that any addictive behavior or maladaptive responses is to unresolved trauma, attachment wounds, it's insecure, ego, self, a person who didn't get a chance to know they're beautiful, pure consciousness self yet. Once they move into their love, it's because they will have dissolved that shame, defectiveness, 1-year-old defense mechanism that didn't choose through the thinking. So as long as you are infinite in your potential, keep sharing that love, keep sharing compassion with others, we all get to do better and hopefully build mindful relationships so we can continue evolving and expanding consciousness.